Say what?
Hello and welcome back. It's time for Say What, where we hear from those connected to the industry about what's going on in our world of electrical apprenticeship. And this includes topics that you have suggested to us. So please keep those coming. I'm your host, Cindy Sandifer. Our industry is overflowing with incredible people, and it's such a privilege to know you, to hear about the impact that you're having. It's one of the wonderful things about us and who we are. And in today's episode, we get to connect with another rock star. I'm so excited to chat with Anthy Hadjimarkos. Okay, so let's jump in because I'm really excited. I know we're going to be talking about Empower, but first, I want to get to know you a little better. We've had some conversations, but I'm tell me your interest in the electrical industry. Where did that begin for you?
Yeah, well, for me personally, I heard about the trades when I was about 18 or 19 from my brother's two friends who were IBW. Um, I put that all aside. It sounded exciting. They thought that I could do it because I was a very active person. I always played sports, and I was still very active physically. They said, you could handle this, and we know you got this, two people not related both telling me this separately, and I again didn't know that I actually could as a woman do it. I didn't know about how I would apply or anything. So I went to college, finished that. After college I was struggling. I graduated in 2003. There was a dot-com burst. It was pretty difficult to find employment. I was finding part-time work. I had four different part-time jobs, nothing
Wow.
with insurance, no benefits, and very challenging. I was working 7 days a week, usually two different jobs every day, and I was just trying to make ends meet. And I thought, I got to do something else. Should I go back to school? And I found a pre-apprenticeship program, an MC3 program, which I went through, and that again, I started getting reintroduced to the trades, and I saw Jane Templin, who was the director of outreach for several years here at Local 11. And she was actually the first person to introduce me to Local 11. And I went on a tour here, and I thought, my God, I remember when those guys said I could do it, and here is a woman showing me about this trade. Absolutely, if I can apply, if I can get into this, this is what I'm gonna do. This is my dream. So
Wow. So it's wild. Two different people, different times, right? Saying this to you. And you're like, yeah, great. Love the idea, but kind of pursued something that felt maybe even safer in some
felt
ways, right? More
safer.
comfortable. Yeah. And then to have it come back around. I can't even imagine you had to be so just drained physically, mentally, emotionally doing these four different part-time jobs. So I love that it went through that and then to be reconnected to this place you'd heard of pre-college. And
Right.
then, to be like, wait a minute, I can see myself doing this. I've got this person showing me around that I can relate to, in a totally different way than you could those other two that were encouraging you to get involved. So that's wonderful. What's been the best part for you?
My goodness, that's
That's
hard to
not fair.
that's not fair. Yeah, there's so much. I think for me the best part is honestly the brother and sisterhood. The family feeling. I am a transplant to Southern California. I was raised in Northern California, and coming down here, I really didn't have friends. After college, I moved down here, so I was an adult already, and I pretty much my entire life revolves around people that are union related, other than when I go and visit family. Um, but yeah, I even married into IBW. So yeah, my wife is IBW, same local. Um, so just my whole world kind of became that. But I feel like I might be dated, but I feel like we're pretty good people, like we're all pretty disciplined. We have similar interests. It's easy to we're friendly. We're very friendly.
Yeah.
People, brothers and sisters in the field have always been so quick to help me learn something, or jump in and make sure I'm okay. And I love that mentality, and I try to keep that vibe moving forward and passing that on to next generations. I've had so much given to me by our brothers and sisters of the trade. I just want to keep passing that on and showing others how to continue that tradition.
Yeah, and in that's what it's supposed to be. I mean, I think in any area of life, but we're talking about this, so it's like, yeah, give back, from what was given to you. And I know that using family can be a bit jarring, even triggering for some, because not all families are healthy. And I think that what I gain out of the brother sisterhood, the IBW Nika family, however we word it, is it's what it should be, right? That's what we're aiming for, is what a good, healthy family should be, is what we're, trying to project. And I love what you said. It's like, of course there's always outliers, right? You've got your uncle that's whatever, your aunt that, you've got those family members, but as a whole, I'm with you. I think just some of the best, kindest, most passionate, caring, hardworking people I know are a part of us, right? A part of this industry. Um, so it's beautiful. I,
It
I
is
love
beautiful.
it.
Shared passions, and it's just like you're right. I understand that is triggering, especially, uh, we don't choose our family, our immediate family, but we did get to choose, our network of colleagues and family within the brother and the sisterhood of our union. So, and they're
Exactly.
good to us, and they're usually good to
Yeah.
us.
Yes. So what are you doing now? You did the apprenticeship thing. You worked, I'm assuming, as a journey worker for a while.
Yeah. So I turned out in 2011, um, worked in the field, and then I applied to the Electrical Training Institute, which is Local 11's training trust. And I worked as a full-time instructor to the Inside program for 8 years. And ever since COVID 2020, they kind of needed some more assistance in the office. Things were changing here. We went into a much different, we were just lightning speed learning new things, and we needed some more help in the office. So I took on a new position, a senior position called Special Projects Assistant. So I'm able to do, that's kind of a vague term, but I do a lot of projects. It's kind of whatever is needed. I could learn it if I have to, and just work it through. Mainly, I'd say I work on our grants. Um, my other things that I work with here are our Empower group, which we'll be talking about. I chair that, and sometimes if we have any art stuff, I'll work on that. I even work on curriculum development at times. Just sort of all over, wherever I'm needed. I love to try to throw in some my twist on it.
I love, like, variety. What is the spice of life, as they
Right?
say, whoever they are. But I love that, because it's like, I think sometimes that specific position, specific job description is absolutely necessary. And then in your situation, it's like, no, we've got so much going on. We're moving at this rapid pace. It's easier to say special projects. These are things outside of the norm that we're seeing increasing. And we have a need for someone to really head that. So I love that. I think that's really, like, proactive, and forward thinking to have something like that for you. Okay, so Empower, that's what we're most excited to talk about. What is it? Like, what what does it stand for, if you will? Why does it exist?
So Empower stands for, again, our training trust is called the Los Angeles Electrical Training Institute, ETI. There's a few different locals that have used that term for their training trust. So Empower stands for ETI Mentorship Program, offering women extra resources. So it's essentially a system that a group that is meant to meet monthly to help with equity, to help women get on the same page as the men, and get us women a bit better opportunity to potentially join the apprenticeship or stay in the apprenticeship if we do join. Our mission is to recruit and retain women in this local union. And a lot of nice things about Empower, but one really cool fact is that it was established in 2006. So it's been around for a while, and it assisted me. I started my apprenticeship in 2007, and I went to almost every Empower meeting. And it's a monthly meeting, and it's been around for almost 20 years now. So it's gone through a few different evolutions. When I joined, it was a pretty new group, and it was originally meant to have a mentor mentee in sort of one-on-one, one-to-one mentorship. That never actually got really uh, established, and it was kind of more of a group mentorship, a place that women could just be around each other, see each other. It does get really lonely in the field when you're the only woman out of 100 people, and you're not seeing daylight for months in a row because you're working 7 days a week, and it's dark before you leave, and you're underground, and it's dark when you go home. So it can get
That's a
pretty
lot. Yeah.
it can be a lot. So the apprenticeship is a challenge, and our trade can be very challenging. Um, Community is extremely important. So having a group where we could just see each other and convene once a month was really helpful for me in my apprenticeship. That's why I went as sort of when I had that experience of not seeing the sunlight for 6 months,
Yeah.
because I was working at LAX, or airport here in LA. Um, I remember as soon as that ended, I went to the zoo just so I could see some green, some life. We have to see life. We have to communicate. We're humans, and uh, we've evolved. If you believe in, I believe in evolution, to to be social eh, creatures. So we need each other. So it's just
Yeah.
sort of a group space where it's a safe space. Um, I took over Empower in 2022, um, just as a special projects assistant. Again, it's run by their training trust. So, as someone who is a female that worked at the school, I thought, this is my time, my turn to try to give back. Um, when I was an apprentice going through Empower, the group had quite a few members, maybe 10, 15. It was regulars, we knew each other really well. But by the time it was 2022, and I had kind of stepped away as I was teaching, I was also busy with other union uh, um, obligations. But I mean,
Yeah.
I like to give back to my local, so I was like, chairing district two. Before that, I was the secretary of our district, and I like to be involved, right? So but I stepped away from Empower for about 10 years. And when I come back to it and decided to put my energy into that, there were only about 2 or 3 people coming at any month.
Mm.
And I thought, you know, this is a good safe space. So let's bring this back. Let's put some energy, some fire into this. Let's see if we can make this a nice uh, place for people to know exists again, and have them convene. So we've been doing that, and every month ever since I took it over in 2022, and now we have pretty well well established group. Even men come. Like,
Good.
we have about over 50 people attending every month now. Sometimes, like last month, we had about 80. The month before that, we had, I think, 85. So yeah, this is a good place to be, and people are starting to understand that and wanting to come back to just be around each other, just like it was, when I was an apprentice.
Yeah. Because you're right. We are social creatures. Like, even the most introverted person still needs that, kind of like you were saying, like, I need to see green, I need to see life. We may have to go and recharge for a bit after, but, just recognizing the importance of that community. And it's not always the one on one mentorship. I think that has an absolute place, right, in different spaces or situations. And then I think the community moment where it's not one on one, it's everybody, anybody's welcome. You come, and I love, it's like, no, it's not just for women. I was at the it was, well, it's probably been at every IBW women's conference I've gone to, but I remember my first experience, and there was plenty of men in the room. And, they were talking a lot about allies, advocates, that's what it takes. And so something like this to me is like, just like, no, we all want to empower our entire IBW Nika family, right? So
Exactly.
this is just a part of it. Do you all have like a recruitment process for it? I mean, are you reaching out trying to get people to attend?
Yes. So, um, she's not in the office right now, but usually right behind me, my partner, her name is Alondra, and she helps with a lot of our social media. So she was hired now almost 1 year, and I'm so grateful. She's just assisting so well because she knows how to connect. She's knows how to connect people to put us out there on Instagram, on Facebook, and she knows how to sort of use social media, TikTok, and things like that. That a different generation is just never really quite. It's not my
Yeah,
thing, you know. So, but
right.
that is the
Yeah.
way to reach people. That is absolutely how we need to reach the
Mhm.
people that are looking to join the trades, you know. So we're meeting people, and we have exciting, fun, engaging content that we're putting out there, and it's regular. And that's one thing that I've learned how to grow the mentorship program that of Empower is just by being consistency gives people that trust, you know. We've always been the second Thursday of the month since we were established in 2006, and there have been a few times that I've been asked, should we move it to a different day? I'm like, absolutely not. It's
Yeah.
We leave it alone. Everything, uh, you know, being consistent, but also reaching people, finding good usage of everything that we have nowadays. There's so much stuff in the computer, you know, like there's all kinds of media we can quickly create, fun and engaging, and yeah.
Yeah, good. And I mean, AI is just another thing that's come up. You can use it to help come up with activities and work through that. And I'm with you. It's like whatever we need to do to reach people, right? And we use our skill sets. And like you said, your cohort there has certain skills, and then there's other things that you do well. But having that, thinking all the way back to, the two people that were suggesting to you, hey, you should consider, apprenticeship, the electrical industry, if they also could have said, "Hey, and here's something you could go to get to know some people, some other women that are in the program." And, it's just this connection piece that would have probably changed things for you a bit as you were starting out, whether before or after college. So I
Yes.
love that.
Yes, and that's exactly why I it's my passion, and I really do everything I can to try to get the message out and find everyone. I'm good at certain things, you know, but I'm looking for my colleagues to see what skills they have that they can help, because recruitment is everything, and I want to make sure that people understand that everyone is welcome in this trade. It's different than it might have been a few decades back, you know. Again, I didn't quite finish answering that question. I just realized, my bad. But yeah, I do also one-on-one connection with people. One of my projects that I oversee is our application process. And actually, we're currently in at the end of one of our cycles. We do 4 cycles a year. It's a quarterly deal. So people are testing. As people finish our aptitude test, as they're exiting, whenever there's a woman, I will just reach out and talk to her and find out a few things. One, how did they hear about IBW? Two, have they ever heard of Empower before? And then I invite them. About half the time they've already been going to Empower meetings, and half the time they've never heard of it. Um, and they wish that they had, because they would have applied probably a lot sooner. And then I do ask them, well, how did you find out? And they're finding out about the trades, that women belong in the trades as well, from social media. They're saying that they're following people on Instagram that are women that are, plumbers, or they're, carpenters, electricians, and they realize that is a viable option for them. It's not that women don't feel like we could do this work. We feel like we can. We just don't know if we would be allowed to do the work. And
Right.
so seeing that, and also that's another thing about the Empower meetings is once people do come, they're in a whole room with others who have similar interests. And at the meetings, again, there's so many women that are now attending, and some men too, our allies. We have women who are pre-apprentices, women who are apprentices, women who are CWs, women who are journey level, women who are on the IBW staff or ETI staff, and even we have retirees.
Oh,
So it's a really good place for them to network, and now they see all these different the bridges of like the gaps. I try to make sure that they're filled. When I was an apprentice, I was very blessed to have some of the Empower Group mentors were close to retirement. Now we have a generation who've actually retired, having a full career in this trade, and it's really cool that they often come back and give their you know advice. So I'd say it is a group mentorship. It used to kind of be more me putting out information that I wish that I had known, but now there's a lot of people that are more active, and I have people sitting at different tables and moving around, and it's a good networking experience. So it's also more of a group mentorship experience.
yeah. No, I mean, it just sounds like this really smart way to show people who we are, right? Who the industry is, who the IBW is, um, offering this idea of, the culture shift, like you said, 10, 20, 30 years ago versus now. And we haven't arrived by any stretch, but I think that due to efforts like yours and other, be it allies, advocates, whatever, people that are determined, right, to say this is who we want to be. It's who we are. It's who we've always been. We're just expanding and growing and changing the way we view our industry. And so, yeah, being able to open that up in the way that you all are, and having this multi-generational, super diverse, there's people in different facets of the industry attending this, so it really gives that newcomer this opportunity to say, wow, it's limitless what I can do, those that are around me that can be there to support the people I can then support. It does, like you said, it builds a complete community,
It
which is
does.
wonderful.
And I think that the goal of Empower is ultimately, yes, our mission is to recruit and retain women, but I think that our passion is also to help people rise up, help lift up our spirits, help just harmonize people and put us a little bit better into give us like you were saying earlier, a kind of a community space that helps. It is a healing place to be.
Mhm.
Yeah, we try to have people always leave feeling more engaged and a little bit heightened from before. And also, that is something that I picked up from my very good fortune of being able to go to a lot of the tradeswomen conferences. I thought, not everybody gets to go to these. So how can I bring this back to our local? And it isn't just me, obviously. The women that do go with me on those are also bringing it back and sharing that at the Empower meetings, so that those that are newer apprentices, they can't necessarily get out to those trade conferences, trade shows and things. They get some of that feeling, and it helps, I think. I've seen some people, I've seen the lights go on where they were considering this is really difficult, not necessarily the physicality of it, but just the challenges that they're having with, the social structures and things. And I've seen people make the decision to not give up and keep going. And I
Yeah.
love to see that.
That's wonderful. I love how you tied it to these conferences because I'm with you. Like when I go to the EWMC, the women's conference, various things. It doesn't have to be like a specific group of folks, right? Just in the industry, or maybe it's even personal development. And you get so revved up. The energy is great. You leave there feeling amazing. And then because life is what it is, right? It's just a natural thing that it's going to dwindle. The excitement, you may keep up with some of the things that, you committed to doing, but it is the feeling kind of goes away until you hit that next conference or event where you can refresh. And so for you all to do this monthly, like you said, not everybody can attend and have that experience, but you're creating it there and the consistency that you talked about.
That's right.
So now we're able to keep encouraging each other, lifting each other up. I mean, who doesn't want a little bit of more kindness and care and community? Like it does all of us, a body and a mind good. So it just makes sense. What's it taught you? Like what has being a part of Empower taught you? Whether it's about yourself or the industry or whatever.
I again, even though Empower is its own thing, I do kind of more tie it towards, like you just said, the EWMC conferences, and we also have a very good active EWMC chapter here, and the tradeswomen conferences. I sort it's all kind of one big uh, kind of. I'm not sure.
It's like a net. It's
It's
not a network, but I know what you're saying.
like
It's
a
like
nebula.
this.
I don't know, but
Yes, right.
it's all intertied, and that has taught me so much. I'm so blessed because I live that life, and I learned from these kinds of conferences and these kinds of experiences. And for my, years that I've got to had the opportunity to teach to our apprenticeship, the value of again community and compassion and uh, giving. And
Yes.
I'd love to see. I see that people really in this group at Empower, they and in EWC, they really want to share. They really want to help in any way that they can. In fact, with the EWC, as you're aware, they do all of the a lot of service, giving back to the community.
Yes.
Um, so you just see people doing better for others, which is part of what our union constitution puts out there. And yeah, we want to help lift everybody. So
Yeah.
it has definitely given me all of those experiences have changed me to be someone who wants to give back.
Excellent. And you're right. The what saying, it's better to give than receive. But when you experience it, you understand it. And I've heard people say if you're feeling down, if you're struggling, I mean, obviously there's times to care for yourself, to take that alone time. So I'm not negating that. But there's also this idea of go and serve, go and give, go and support. And it will lift you up more than just about anything else, is to be able to do that even in your own time of need and
Yes.
distress. And so when you're saying this, it's like, yeah, of course, that's a huge thing to learn, about life in general. And to learn it through our industry I mean, that's great. Is there any like lessons learned like from doing this? Are there any things you're like, yeah, I learned this, from being a part?
Oh God, so much because I'm pretty active with it and I put a lot into it.
Yeah.
So one of the things I learned is how much I can just sometimes dig deep and just find something to make sure everything is okay. But I'd say that what I've especially been learning is to slow down
Mm.
and try to listen, be a listener, hear people.
I mean, if we did that, right? If we all committed to that, slow down, really listen, hearing, listening, all that, like the difference it would make in everything, professionally, personally, you name it.
It's so hard
That's
to be objective sometimes. To we have our every and I again community is so important in it, and I hate to see the world so divided, especially in our country. So it's just I've seen some people do it, and I learned from them, and I thought just whatever my thoughts are, maybe I'm missing something. I'm gonna put my opinions off. I'm just gonna listen and see
mm,
what you have or what that person has, or and then even if when I pick back up my ideas, I might see something that they had to say that is new to me or
right.
that I hadn't considered that way before. So, and but better than how I feel about it, it's more important to me what they feel about it, and maybe they feel a little bit more listened to, heard. That is something that is lacking in our society. People don't get heard
Yes.
nearly enough. So
Well, and it sounds like you all have learned a lot about teamwork too, that this doesn't happen because one or even just two people are committed. Like it takes not just the leadership for Empower, but the folks that are attending, the person that's coming for the first time. That's an important piece, to this puzzle. And I think we don't always see that. Like it takes all of us and every person is genuinely like it sounds so cliche, but it's like, no, every person makes this successful and what it's supposed to be. Without each one, it couldn't be what it is.
that's accurate. Everything you're saying is so true. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it takes every one of us. We all come in. I'd say I don't have to tell people to do this. They just naturally do. Whatever is, maybe we had a challenging day. We set that aside when we enter that space, and we keep it at somewhat of a higher, elevated, vibe. That's
Yeah.
everybody. That's everyone doing that. Also about the putting it together, it is a whole team. I mean, I have some clerical that assistants to help me get out the email messages. My friend here, Alondra, helps me with the social media. We even have some IT people that are on staff, and they help to make sure that my projectors come down. And I get good. I We have meetings monthly here at the training trust about how to better utilize what we have to make that a more potent meeting.
Yeah.
I've learned. I've went away from paper that was hard for me to do, and
Uh,
now everything is on PowerPoint presentations and things like that.
yeah.
But one thing that I do not want to do is, unfortunately for some, is I don't want this to be a online meeting, like a Zoom meeting. Because to me, I really feel like there is some magic in the room with each other, in each other's presence. I think that there's something about being in person that is sacred. I just think it gives us much more closeness than when we see each other. There's not really skin in the game when we're on Zoom calls. So
Yeah.
it's an in-person event. Occasionally, I've had some guests that were far away. The guest speakers might occasionally be from maybe like once a year, uh, from out of state, and then they zoom in. But usually, even my guests will usually come in person. For our
Yeah.
application process, we have a third party that does that for us, and we had the lady that works for that company. She flew in from Chicago specifically to speak to the group, and she'll be doing that now every 6 months, because again it's a recruitment tool. So
Hmm.
we could share a little bit about how to apply and just make sure people understand our kind of complicated application process. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. But yeah, in person, we have free dinner. And I also wanted to say that even though we have a bigger team working on this, it doesn't have to be like that. If a
Mm.
local wants to make their own group at their training trust, it really just does take one person that has just a little bit of a little desire to try to improve, right? And it doesn't have to be that uh, big of a scale of an event. And if anybody is interested in starting, if any locals are interested in starting up their own Empower subgroup, I'd be okay with that. We've actually decided we could be called Empower LA. If others wanted that, and I have so much content. I have years of content. I love to teach. So I have years of different events that we've put together, all mostly different workshops. Every month, like I said, it's something unique and different. Last month, we painted pumpkins for the holiday, not for October, but that actually we did that for November for the for like a table centerpiece. This month we are having a grand raffle, which we do every December. Every month we have a raffle, by the way, and we're also going to have like a little gift wrapping, session where I'm allowing people to bring two gifts to wrap for on us.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
Look,
we do
it's
fun
the
things.
little things, right?
It's the little
Sometimes it's
things.
something small like that makes a big impact on
Absolutely.
people. And I love what you said about in person. I agree. I mean, I love technology. I'm appreciative of it. Obviously, 2020, like it was life-saving in so many ways, even for sanity, just to be able to at least see someone on a screen and chat that way.
Absolutely.
But you're right, there are some things that really do need that in-person connection. And so it's like, yeah, we use it when we need to. We use it for the things that it must be used for. But then there's some things that no, this isn't in person. This is something that needs to stay there, and be that. And you answered like all the questions I have. I love this that and I think it's important to reiterate, if someone wants to do it, do it. Like if someone's interested, regardless whether it's a women's group or whatever it is
No,
they're
yeah.
wanting to do, like get in there, do some research, see who's doing something similar. Cause I'm a big fan of not reinventing wheels.
No
And so
need to.
what you're saying is like, and it's such a generous offer to say, hey, we've got years worth
Of
of
content, we have so
information.
much, yeah.
Yeah. Like call me, reach out. We can get that to you. And then you can work on starting Empower in your own area or use this and make it something different and unique, whatever. I mean, that's to me, that's what this is about, right? That's the whole brother sisterhood is, yeah, you're doing it in California, someone, in Chicago, and then someone that's in Wichita and someone, wherever might be like, yeah, I can do this. This would work, for us.
Exactly.
Thank you for that. That's really kind. Like, I love that.
We want to give back and we want to help out, all of our apprentices and our journey level men and women because it is tough being in the trade sometimes. And one of the challenges that, you know, we talk a lot about is mental health. Um, and this is one tool that we can all share to help improve that. Um,
Yes.
it's important again to see each other, and like you said, we don't all have families that have some of us have had some toxicity in our life, so it's nice to have a safe space that's not toxic. That unfortunately in our country everything costs something to do or experience. This is free, right? Giving people a
Yes.
free dinner, um, free evening, free parking. You don't have to pay anything at all, just to be around each other. That could be an expensive evening here in LA. Something like that would cost, shoot,
Oh,
I don't know, over $100 probably. A lot
yeah.
of people don't have
Right.
that. Yeah, we even
Yeah.
did like I said, last month was somewhat of a, they have the sip and paint events. Well, we can't have the sipping part, but we had the free dinner, and we did some activity together that normally would cost at least $50. I did one of them just to see what it was like, just so I could kind of prep for it. But again, yeah, anything that we have so much content. We love our guest speakers. If anyone wants to be one of our guest speakers, we'd be thrilled. Just let me know, and I'd love to punch you in for 2026 at some point. Yeah, reach out. I mean, I'd be really happy to share what we have with really any local. It'd be great.
Thank you, Anthy. Thank you for sharing your story and your passion with us. And again, just big thanks for saying, "Hey, I'm willing to help you out. I want to help you out of what I've learned and share this with you so that you can kind of what is it, leap from my shoulders, right? That you don't have to do ground up. It's that's a huge benefit to anyone that's willing to take advantage of it. So, thank you. Thank you for everything and certainly for taking time with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, it's always great to talk to you, and appreciate you giving us the time here to talk about Empower.
Thank you, Anthy. Thank you for your passion. Thanks for doing so much good for so many and for being willing to share with others across our country. We greatly appreciate your generosity. Big thanks to you, the listeners, for taking time to join us. Remember that we want to hear from you. So if there are topics you would like us to cover, if you'd like to be a guest, send me an email. Say what? That's SAYWATT at electricaltrainingalliance.org. Our next episode will drop in April. Until then, you can stay connected with us through our newsletters, blog posts, follow us on social media, subscribe to the podcast, go ahead and tell a colleague about it. Stay powered up, and we will see you next time.
Say what?